as I'm talking, somebody had a recommendation to put your hands right to work. So let's hold our ring finger, which harmonizes the lung flow, and taking a few breaths here. So the lung flow starts in the stomach and then moves down to the intestines. So from the stomach to the intestines. So the lung flow is dynamic for our digestive system. And then it moves up into the lungs. It moves through the trachea, into the shoulders, through the acromion, through the shoulders, to the back of the arm, and then to the front, through the elbow. And so it's a dynamic flow for arm projects, elbow projects, all respiratory projects, asthma. It sounds like a miracle flow, which it kind of is. And let's change to the other ring finger. And more projects. So I will tell you about it. So let's take one more breath here, holding our ring finger. So the ring finger is a quick hold for the lung flow. And if you are new to this art, you can just practice along, remembering the ring finger, harmonizing the respiratory system. If that's all you're going to learn today, you have a powerful hold, harmonizing sadness and grief. With the art of Jin Shin, we're harmonizing our emotional system and balancing it, because it is with our emotional attitudes that projects can start, be it worry, fear, anger, sadness, or trying too hard. With these emotions, we put them in a depth. And so when we have these emotions and we don't harmonize them, they can cause projects. So that's a nice place to begin with the art of Jin Shin. And if you have the art of Jin Shin, the lung flow is in there. If you have the core textbook, the lung flow is in there. I'll be working from the core textbook. So let's place our hands, first step, on SEL 14, opening up our waistline. And just feeling a little bit, you can place your fingers right underneath the ribs, feeling if one is sticking out maybe, if one feels more full. And when you're doing this, just dropping your shoulders, opening up our waistline. And then stay on the one that talks to you. So like I said, it can be more full, or maybe you find a little tender spot in there. There's no need to press deep, or just gently go in, and the congestion will come to your fingertips. And then leave your hand there, and then the other hand will place it on SEL 22. So that's the first step. And the first step of each flow pattern, of each sequence, is powerful because it gets the whole flow moving. It's the facilitator to all the other steps. So just make sure you're copying me. So with the hand on the 22, I'm crossing the body, and with 14, I'm on the same side. So this is what it looks like. If you have respiratory projects or arm projects, you will probably feel a tight spot in your 22 here. 22 right below the collarbone, and your 22 can be closer to the center line, or you can move it out. So finding your 22 can be, if you have shoulder projects, it may be very lateral, and you will find a tight spot in there. So hold it where the tight spot is. Locations are usually on the same line. So if you are very lateral, maybe move your hand that's on the rib a little bit lateral also. It's the art of Jin Shin, and you are the artist. So tailor it to yourself. I was just working with someone just before this, jumping into this session, and she came with a shoulder project here. So that's why I planned the lung flow, because the lung flow moves through this. However, on her, it seems to be coming from her neck. And then as we're starting to talk and go deeper into it, it turns out that it went way back from the time she was born. So in one session, we uncovered really the cause of her project. And so what I'm saying with this is that everybody is different. And if you have a cause, it's very important to get to the cause of it. And Jin Shin will give you the tools information that you can find the cause. And it's important to find the cause because then you can clear it on a very deep level so that the symptom doesn't evolve into another symptom and that ultimately the symptom goes away. So that's the beautiful thing about the art of jinshin. There's a great technique to it, but mainly it's an art where we have to explore, and starting with ourselves is so powerful to harmonize and heal our own body, mind, and spirit, all of them. They're all a part of us. So that was a lot of talking. Let's take another breath here. Breathing is the #1 healer, and sometimes we forget the breath, right, in our busy lives. So if you walk away, again, if you're new to this art, and if you walk away with this first step and holding your ring finger, you're well on your way. And then let's take our hand from 22 and placing it on the back of our arm, high 19. So the long flow, if you look at the illustration, you see that from the front, it goes through the axilla to the back and then comes out just this little piece here. So if you have pain in your upper arm, it may be related to the long flow. But just next to it runs the umbilicus flow. So that's why it's nice to study, so you get to understand how these flows move in the body. So back of the high 19 harmonizes our emotions, the chest line. So any project on the chest line, high 19 is dynamic, and you can place your thumb on the front if you like. So if this is not comfortable, I'm sitting a bit like this, you can move your hand so that you're comfortable. That's very important. Take one more breath here. So we're looking for transformation, we're looking for change, we're looking for these locations to open up. And opening up means that if you felt some congestion, it will change, it will get softer, the tender spot will dissipate. Very nice. And now let's take our hand from high 19 and we place it on the palm of the thumb. So a lot of people have thumb pain. And so the long flow is very important for that. So placing your hand back on the 14 and then placing my thumb right here on this area and then placing my hand back on the 14. So if you have thumb pain, you can take a look at the long flow also. The long flow moves into the thumb. So that makes me think, like when we're texting a lot and people get pain in their thumb, it's important to revitalize their lung flow. So for all you young people who are constantly on their phone, texting like this, like some of us older people, maybe younger people are different jointed also and they don't get this kind of pain. I don't know. I'm wondering, because us older people, we get pain and we start to type like this, right? But yeah, lung flow is very important to harmonize thumb pain. And also 18 calms our mind. So 18 is a nice location if you want to fall asleep, if you want to calm your mind. Very, very nice. So now let's take our hand from 18 and we still have our hand on the 14. We place it on the 11 here. So we're holding 11 and 14. So again, if you have shoulder pain on this side, you can see how this flow really opens up the shoulder. So it's a great flow for frozen shoulder, elbow projects, tennis elbow, any of these kind of projects. This flow is also great for coughing, elimination, when your hair is in poor quality, mucus conditions, when the palms are feverish, hot, skin projects. The lung flow is lives within depth 2, our second cycle of energy, and the function is deep skin. So for any deeper skin projects, when people want to suck their thumb, children, when they suck their thumbs, babies is usually spleen, stomach need. But when we really want to hold our thumb a lot, could be second depth for this reason, because the lung flow moves through it. And then the last, we have 2 more steps from 11. So, just check in with your 11. 11 is where we tend to pile up a stress in our body. When we have stressful lives, we'll pile it right onto the 11, and that can burden the lung flow. And when we're holding it, it harmonizes the lung flow. Welcome, Anne and Doreen and Sandra, Mary, so many of you joining, Sunku, Mary, and my good friend Sylvie is joining, Olga. Wonderful to see so many of you. Welcome. Very nice. So just taking another inventory on your 11 here, seeing if it's melt. So that's how quickly the body changes. When you feel this location melt, the energy can move through it and healing occurs. It's just that simple. And then let's take our hand off 11, we move it to the opposite 22. So in this flow, we'll hold both 22s, and we know that 22 allows for the exhale energy to descend and helping all respiratory projects. So feeling this 22 as compared to the other one, this is the only time when we compare the right side and the left side of our bodies. We get out of harmony when one side goes faster, so it's important to bring balance between the right and the left sides. And then the last step is moving your hand from 22 to 13. Again, if there is a tender spot on your 13, it's about at the 3rd rib, but yours can be a little bit lower or a little bit higher. Everybody's locations are slightly different. Then just stay with it, get right into it gently, because for women, we have breast tissue here. And so we want to be gentle. And just wait, take a few breaths, center breaths in that area so it can open up. So that's what I mean by opening up. If there's a tender spot, you just hold it till it opens up. You can go a little bit below it, get right on the edge of that location. Taking a breath, exhaling completely, letting go. Very nice. Feeling your breath becoming deeper and waiting for the location to open. So you can practice the other side or just go. Let's do the first step together. So let's hold the other 14 and 22. So sometimes I do that. I just do the first step of the other side as well, just to open it up and again to bring balance. So last week I taught a bunch of Zumba ladies on a Zumba cruise. It was really, really fun. And they were so, it was such hard dancing that I thought it would be really interesting to present some jinshins. I basically taught them to sit on their hands, or that was one of the things, to revitalize and regenerate their bodies. So jinshin is really for everybody. So I'm inviting you to share it with your family, friends, loved ones, even if it's just a simple hold. I'm going to be traveling next Tuesday. I'll be here for the meetup and teaching in Belgium and Amsterdam. So if you are near there, let us know. Maybe you can join. And for now, I will stay for a few more minutes here with the meetup group if there's any questions. And for Insta and Facebook. I'll see you tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday. Thank you for joining. Have a great day.